Hi there, Dead-Eye Delboy here, back with another video on the channel, and this time we are jumping into Daily Race B. It's at Brands Hatch, it's 7 laps, and it's in the Group 3 cars. We are desperately trying to get the tyres on our BMW M6. We've decided we're not going to go the Porsche 911, and there's a reason for that, which I'll explain in a bit. However, we've not set a qualifying time, we're coming in cold, so we're going to jump out for a quick warm-up. However, we are going to cut that warm-up short because of those lovely people leaving me those lovely comments, so I'll just scrap the warm-up to reply to them. Anyway, we jump into the race now. As I said, we're starting from the back, P14, and we were all over the place here. Like I said, we didn't have much sort of prep time for this one, so we were in the wrong camera view. You can see I'm desperately trying to find the hood view that I normally drive in, and we almost take out the fellow British driver, and we eventually just back out, let him go to sort of get on with his race as we sort of struggle our way through the opening few corners. Now you can see here on the right hand side the Spaniard and a fellow M6 driver spinning out, so that almost filled me with a little bit of dread right off the bat. And up ahead you can see just at the tyre wall coming into shot, you can see another BMW disappearing behind the tyre wall there. So 2 for 2 BMWs out already. Our traction control was also on, which was not good. We get that switched off, and now surely we can start concentrating on the race ahead of us. And you can see there up ahead the Porsches all having a little bit of a scrap as they go too wide round the corner here. That's always a dangerous move, but somebody else has had a bit of an issue. It's somebody in a Jaguar. So far 2 BMWs and a Jaguar have all came unstuck, but the Porsches there helping to balance things out as 2 of them, one on the left and one on the right, also take a trip to the Shadow Realm. So we've somehow managed to make up 5 places in the opening lap despite our issues. And talking about 5, just seen that little message there. You hit that subscribe button now, it will almost take us within touching distance of 5,000 subscribers. I think at current count we've got 4,955, so if there's 45 people out there who haven't subscribed, then, you know, please consider doing it. It would be a massive help to me and the channel, and yeah, it would just bring a smile to my face. Talking about smiles on faces, the British driver ahead probably didn't have one there as he took a very wide exit there, and I think he was kind of spinning on dirty tyres as he tried to power out the corner there, but just as well for him, my car decided to act as a stopper, or he would have inevitably spun out there. So despite the contact there, we managed to hold the place, although he is back on our tail as the yellow flags also come out and somebody's smoking up ahead there. Not looking too clever, another Porsche driver. So we're now up to P8, which is quite remarkable given our lack of race preparation and the issues that we had on lap 1. But the Porsche driver behind us, he's certainly got more pace at this point than me, and he's looking like he's going to go for the move. He's going up the inside. We're just going to back out there, avoid the contact because there's only going to be one winner on that corner, and that was not going to be me. So we back out and we let him go, but we will try and stay with him as we get our bearings in the race. As I said, it was a first race, and he has also not got his bearings quite correct there as he cuts the corner and gets a half a second penalty for his trouble. So as we approach the line here, coming into the last lap of the first race, you can see there's potentially a P8 on for us here, but we're just over a second behind, and half a second penalty is going to be enough. Not enough. He'll be able to hold on to that position, so we have to put in a pretty good last lap here, try and stay with him, put a bit of pressure on and see if we can pick up that extra spot. So this track is not the best in terms of, well, not the best for me in terms of racing. I've always kind of had difficulties with it, so trying to face my fears here, and also not using the meta car, which is certainly the Porsche 911 around here. It's got far better, well, because it's an MR car, mid-engined rear wheel drive, it's much better for getting out some of the corners, particularly the hairpin. The BMW just wants to kill you at every possible opportunity, wants the wheel spin out. Second gear is an absolute no-go in this car. So we're getting to grips with it, and you can see that we've managed to actually close the gap slightly to the Porsche ahead as he gets very, very, very sideways there. Now, one good corner here, or one bad corner for him, albeit, and we could have this position. He's going to ghost out, we're going to go past him, into P8, as we come round the final corner. Just don't run wide and we're all good. And indeed, we are all good. As we come across the line, P8, I'll take that for the first race, starting from P14, dropping back to P15, dead last, and coming back to finish midway through the pack. Now, I did mention about somebody going off the BMW in the first lap, and this was the way he went off, and I just found that barrier penalty absolutely, it's hilarious, it's stupid, it's everything you want them to do, in terms of just get rid of the barrier penalty. Please, he's got damage. We're getting damage now. Just get rid of the barrier penalty. We do not need it anymore. Now, I accept wall riding was an issue at one point, but the damage model is surely taking care of that. Anyway, as I said previously, there was a reason why I picked the BMW, was because I had limited time. I jumped quickly into the lobby. I switched the game on. Had a look at the top 10 qualifying times, and it was a BMW that was in P1. Now, the reason the BMW was in P1 at that particular point was because the person who put it there is a BMW eSports driver, one of the fastest players in the world. So he absolutely knows how to get every last ounce out of this car on this track, and his handling of it is just, yeah, it's another level of skill. But it made me pick the BMW just because I thought, well, let's have a go. Let's see what it's like round here. It's not a good car to drive round here, I'll tell you that right now. It's got a big front engine in it, and it's got what feels like no weight over the back coming out of the hairpins, etc. And it will try and kill you in second gear. However, you can see we've got a 23.4, and we're going to try and improve the qualifying time now. And we're going to come across the line, and we're going to improve it by a couple of tenths. So a 23.2. Let's see if that's good enough to move us up the grid. It certainly is good enough to move us up the grid. It's moved us into P1, which is a shock to me. Believe you me, it was a shock. And we had the Key 25 directly behind us in a Porsche, live streaming the whole thing. And I think Rory was also live streaming it at the time as well. So we had probably the best part, 500, 600, 700 viewers watching this live. And I'm in a car that I'm not comfortable in. I've got one of the fastest YouTube GranTurismo drivers behind me in a better car. And yeah, it's just going to be a case of how long can we hold on. And the answer is not very, because you can see from the radar that Key is now going to get the run up the inside there. I just left the door open. We have a little bit of contact. I think Key thought that might have been his fault. I actually thought it was my fault, so we'll call it 50-50. I'll show you at the end of the race as well. You can see for yourself what I mean by that. So anyway, we get a little bump draft there from the Austrian behind. He's obviously keen to try and stay with Key, and we are as well, because we're going to try and put the power down far too early coming out of the corner there. You can see we almost lose it now. We have got a narrow line there. We just decide to back out and not, compromise the Austrians' race at this early stage. And we've now got the Dutchman behind us for company. So all in all, it's a bit of a nightmare for me in terms of starts. Starting in pole, I always feel too much pressure. Starting with Key behind me, even more pressure. Having it live streamed in front of hundreds and hundreds of people, the pressure was through the roof, to be honest with you. And I've now fell back to P3, and I'm in danger of making a bit of a fool of myself in this race, to be honest with you. Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's the kind of things that are going through my head. However, we've decided to tackle it head on, and it was about this point where I thought to myself, not today. We're not going to bin it today. We're going to we're going to keep moving forward in this race somehow. We're going to try and hang on. We're going to make it a race. We're going to battle. We're going to fight. We're going to scrap for everything we can get. We're going to try and get a good finish from this race. That's what was going through my head. You're going to see how that unfolds now. But you can see the Austrian there, going a little bit wide as he comes across there. That looked a little bit of a corner cut to me, and indeed it was. He picks up a half-second penalty for it, which he's going to serve. So if I can get, within a 3/4 of a second, we could actually pick up a place here. However, you can see the difference. The Porsche gets a much better drive out of that corner there, and he's just going to carry enough speed to hold on to the place as we come round the final corner and head up the finishing straight. Now, we've also got to be mindful that we've got the Dutchman behind us. He's very, very close, and if we skip forward, we've managed to hold the Dutchman off for this point, to the point where we've got into lap 3 and we've still managed to hold on to P3. However, the Austrian takes an absolutely incredibly wide line, which forces him onto the grass. How he managed to keep that car pointing forward, I don't know, but he did. But it's to the benefit of myself and the Dutchman. We both managed to just about get past him, and we're now up to P2 again, which, to be honest with you, is the real race, because Key is obviously in a different level of skill and speed when it comes to GranTurismo 7 in general, to me, and certainly on this track. So he's off, and we're not really concerned about that anymore unless he has an almighty incident, which is highly doubtful. So the real race in my mind now is between myself and the Dutchman. We've managed to kind of not break away completely, but we've managed to create a gap where we can now have a bit of a race, and you can see where we're getting quicker, where we're starting to get more comfortable with the car. And as you can see, as we cross the line heading into the last lap, we go fastest lap for us again. We've managed to get into the 24s, which is good, just about hanging on there as we almost went wide. Now, as I said, second gear is dangerous around this corner, so we've come back up into third to power out the hairpin. The Porsche definitely has an advantage there. You can see the delta coming all the way back down. So I'm now in the mindset of, I want this P2. Normally I wouldn't be overly fussed about a P2 and a P3, and if there was somebody who was clearly quicker, I would probably let them go and then just try and tuck in and secure the P3. However, this is the last lap. It's quite a short lap, so we might as well try and defend it. Now you're going to see something you might not have seen a lot of from me in my previous videos, and that is some defensive driving, because, like I said, I normally just let people go if they're quicker. It's something I do need to perhaps work on in terms of racecraft. However, we're going to go narrow here. We're going to fend off the Dutchman again. Now we've only got a couple of corners left, so we might as well go narrow and try and hold the inside line of each of these corners. And you can see on the radar how close this is. There's absolutely nothing in it, less than a tenth. As we come round the final corner, you can't go too wide here, and we've got the inside. However, you just see the back end sliding out a little bit there, and the Porsche, the Dutchman and the Porsche getting a run on us all the way down to the line. It's going to be really, really close, but we managed to hold on by one of the smallest of margins. Look how tight that was. But I was absolutely over the moon getting a P2 out of that. Second race in a car that is really not that suited to this race, and yeah, it was better than I expected, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, if we have a quick look back in the replay here, you'll see the incident between myself and Key. There's, like I said, nothing in it. It's 50-50 in terms of I probably am more responsible by the fact I kind of turned in. He gave me plenty of room there, so no complaints there. It looks like he drifts a little bit wide, but like I said, I was turning in as much as anything else, so I'll take that one. And you can see here, the final couple of corners, we're going to go on the run down to the line. I mean, this is what GranTurismo daily racing should be all about. You know, nice, clean driving like this. Absolute hats off to the Dutchman. He was a pleasure to race against. And you can see here as we come down towards the line, how close, well, bit of a touch here as we come across the line. And like I said, absolutely delighted to hang on to that. But yeah, that's that. That's Daily Race B for this week. So if you haven't tried it yet, I would recommend it. I would recommend doing it in the Porsche, though, not that BMW. But yeah, If you enjoyed the race, if you're entertained in any way by the content, then yeah, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Like I said, we've got less than 50 to go to hit 5,000 subscribers, which would be an absolutely huge achievement, something beyond my wildest dreams. So if you haven't, then consider hitting that subscribe button, liking it, all that stuff, and we will see you all on the next one. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.